they wait for the lights to go out. The revs are building. Let's go racing.
Everybody's doing on friends and time. Everybody's doing on friends and time. Everybody's doing on friends and
G'day everyone, welcome back to Wheel Racing. We're here for round 3 of season 15 and the big boys, the Division 1 challenges around Daytona International Speedway here tonight. And joining me in the commentary box, making his return, is Adam V10. Adam, welcome.
Yeah, hey Dragon, how are you? Yeah, great to be here back again in the commentary box. It's been a while and I'm looking forward to it. And hopefully we get a entertaining race around this oval track tonight.
Yeah, hopefully a little less early excitement like the last race and a little more late race excitement for us to thrive on. And again, joining us on the visuals tonight is Dodgy.
Yep, I'll try not to fall asleep through this one, I swear. But yeah, if this one goes a slight bit better for TDR than the last one did, then it could be very interesting back and forth between Drive 25 and TDR. So looking forward to it.
I'm sure that'll help keep you awake as well if the McLarens are sitting in 1, 2, 3.
Maybe.
It'll be interesting to see if the Div 1 guys can come up with a different result from the Division 2 race we just had earlier. So that'll be interesting to see if you haven't watched that Div 2 race. And it might come out on YouTube later on.
Yeah, it'll be there during the week.
What say you kick them off, Dragon, on for quali?
Will do. But yes, it should be... I'm predicting a mixed result, or at least more teams in it before we come towards the finish. Whereas, you know, we have the Team Dodgy guys having to drop back and grab Baker to try and drag him back up to the front. You know, we might see the Team Dodgy guys lead from the front now, or at least work with Drive 25 as they're absolutely the contenders for the win. Careful,
Dragon. You're going very close.
I meant both teams, you know. And here we go with quali. We'll see what order the drivers come out. As was pointed out in the Division 2 race, we saw different teams all coming out together, but plenty of guys showing some patience when they did.
Looks like all Drive 25 are sitting in there still.
Yeah, a lot of guys are sitting in there still. At the moment we have Seckers out on track leading everyone around. MCDC has also gone out with Seckers. I don't see the third Hexagon's car just yet, but we've got Flossie and Oil together. And there's Dale coming past them now as well.
Yeah, Dale will be trying to catch his team so they can do the bump draft.
Looks like Scooter's doing the same. Trying to catch up to Flossie. Oh, there goes Flossie. He's doing his own thing. The Team Dodgy guys are all together here. I think Scooter's trying to tuck in with them, to be honest. Looks like that's what Flossie's done. Very interesting. So yes. Nuts playing a little bit of a game, giving a lift off the throttle here. Flossie wasn't able to tack onto the back of him. And the Drive 25 trio are all together and nicely orchestrated, as I'm sure Tombo loves.
Yeah, Tombo, the meat and sandwich in that Drive 25 trio. I'm sure he likes to be.
That's the one. So it doesn't look like Dale was able to link up with Seckers and MCDC before they could start their lap. Seckers is coasting at about 3/4 throttle just to bring him back in, as is MCDC, so they are communicating well. Oil's in no man's land, and it doesn't look like Scooter was able to grab onto the back of those McLarens.
Yeah, interesting there from Fangit Racing. Thought they'd just Scooter would slow up and grab his teammates, but not at the moment.
Yeah, I guess the only remaining hope is that Oily can hold on to the Team Dodgy McLarens, but they're approaching at a rapid rate of speed here.
Yeah, they're going to go around him.
All three go straight to the top of the timing charts as well there. Will tries to tuck in, but he's just not gaining speed fast enough. They're going about 15 kilometres an hour faster than he is.
Is this trio going to catch the Dam guys, the TDR?
They might, actually. They're not too far off. And I think the difference in lap time was about 0.5, 0.6 of a second between the McLaren and the Supra when they were going at full speed. Interestingly enough, as my order changes around, the Damn Hexagons drivers are on the soft tyres and everyone else is on the hards. So, don't know if some people just don't want to be changing tyres between qualifying and race, or whether they just think the hards are fine anyway.
Yeah, so the tyres won't really have a say in this qualifying or race, will they?
Surely not a massive say. You can double stint your hards to save yourself a couple of seconds in the pits, about 2 to 3 seconds in the pits. Your softs wear out towards the end of an 18-lap stint.
As Nux goes to pole, provisional pole.
Yeah, Team Dodgy with 49.2s as they come around, and a big spark show coming off. I believe that's MCDC just up the road there, moving about quite a bit as they round the banking. We have 1 minute and 20 seconds to go in this qualifying session, so everyone will get one more lap in, and that'll probably be that.
They might be pushed out wide here, so that'll probably cost them an extra. They're up 2 tenths at the moment.
Lucky got into the rear of Apex, and he's now going around the outside.
Oh.
Here we go, final lap of qualifying coming through here. They might actually get another lap in. They've got the time.
They've caught those damn guys. What are they going to do here?
Those damn guys. They are trying to take the high line. They're not trying to help him out in any way. I think I heard Lucky in the wall there.
Yeah, he's backed right off here.
So Flossie managed to find his way onto the back of the Drive 25 guys and has at least put himself towards the top end of... Oh, that's interesting. The top end of the Fangit guys. Scooter tried to do the same, and all of Drive 25 aborted their lap ahead of him. Looks like Team Dodgy have done the same.
TDR's still going for it. They're going to come across the line. I don't know if they're going to improve.
Hexagons are, TDR's not.
Oh, sorry, Hexagon. Yes, sorry.
If you ask me, knowing Tombo, I reckon that's a Tombo strategy right there to back out and not beat TDR, because he wants that slip.
But we do have TDR 1, 2, 3, Drive 25, 4, 5, 6, Damn Hexagon 7, 8, 9, and Fangit 10, 11, 12 there. As has been started, the countdown's on. We'll be going to the grid for our second and I believe last rolling start of the season. And hopefully all goes well. There have been problems throughout the week with the first 5 or 6 cars being let go before the last group. Everyone waiting patiently on the grid. We're rolling. Hopefully everyone gets led away just fine here. I can hear the countdown.
And we're away.
We're green. And it looks like everyone has gotten away cleanly. All uniform. And straight away, the start of the Drive 25 cars from a rolling start is really good. it's quite a good run compared to the McLaren, which slowly builds up its speed.
Tombo just lacking a bit there, down in 6th behind his teammates, but he's in the slip, so he should catch them fairly quickly.
Yeah, hopefully these guys can all stay together for quite a while, including the Hexicans. It looks like Fangit might already be dropped, unfortunately. 0.9 of a second. Yeah, they've already lost the slip, unfortunately for them. So we're at a 3-car, 3-team battle. And the Hexicans keeping up with Drive 25 nicely. TDR off to an early lead.
Yeah, the damn Hexicans right on the tail of Drive 25 here. They want to use their slip, hopefully maybe work together and try and get past the TDR guys.
Yeah, so I think the problem for the Hexicans is fuel.
Oh! There was a bit of mix-up there for TDR. Lux having to pull out to the right.
And he's going to get tongue out to dry. There goes Stu. Pup letting him back in by the looks of it. Oh, Tombo gets on the inside of Pup.
There's chaos.
Pup manages to hold that together, but now he's out of the slipstream, and here come Fangit around the outside of as well. He can tuck in behind them. But, yeah, Tombo just got underneath that rear quarter of Pup and sent him onto the infield. Almost a very Lightning McQueen moment there. Sent him onto the infield, and he had to turn right to go left.
So what does Drive 25 do here? Do they just continue, or do they pull back and pick up their teammate, as TDR did in the last race?
Well, Pup wasn't able to latch onto the back of Fangit either, so it's going to have to be a really quick early call before it becomes too much. It's only 5 seconds the gap now, but if they wait another lap or two, it'll be 7, 9, 10 seconds. It'll grow very quickly. And I think they're just going to commit to trying to get a good overall team finish. And as I mentioned earlier, they can carry on chasing TDR and try and pick him back up as they lap him and maybe pull him ahead of the Fangit guys and up towards the Hexicans. Very scary moments in the opening laps there, very early on in the race for everything to go pear-shaped.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone would have been puckering their butt cheeks because that was a big moment there.
Absolutely was. I was very nervous. The TDR guys running that kind of 3-line corner, one staying low, one going middle, one going up high. I don't know if Lucky fell asleep on the back straight there, but he's back into it now. And the fastest lap of the race, a 49.6 so far. It'll be very interesting to see how well the Drive 25 guys can keep up. They're half a second off the back of Team Dodgy, but only have a 2-car push. They don't have that 3rd car to give them the big boost every now and then, so they're slowly dropping back, but they're still pulling away from the Hexicans as a duo. I think that'll change if they drop out of slipstream, though.
I think they got enough to hold it there, especially if that. What happens with that rear car is sometimes if it gives a big push for a bump draft, it'll get knocked back half a second, and that's when these Drive 25 guys will have a chance to latch onto the back of that guy.
Yeah, but then for the entire catch back up towards the middle car, they're losing time. So they're losing 2 tenths and gaining 1 essentially. But holding on to Team Dodgy is absolutely crucial for them. Because if they lose the slipstream there, it's going to fall away. Zoo with the fastest lap of the race last time around though, and stays purple. One advantage they do gain by being a 2-car team is bumping is a lot easier. You can sit right with each other's rear bumpers around the corner, hold your line, whereas the Team Dodgy guys you see come into the corner and they spread out quite rapidly, trying to make sure they're not getting underneath each other on the corner.
Yeah, I think that the driver behind the two cars has probably got the hardest job tonight, in my opinion.
That's all right.
Guy at
goes
the
his
back
way
pushing.
there, so. Yeah, I'm not sure. Looking back at the damn Hexicans, they might be going for the little bit of a lag advantage from MCDC every now and then. If he jitters forward, he can probably get Seckers and Dale an extra 2 to 3 kilometres an hour. I don't know if it's been taken into account, but they do have him being the follow car. Looks like Oils had a moment as well. He's dropped 2.5 seconds off the back of Flossie and Scooter. So Pup might end up with someone to drive with for a little bit at least. Try and work together and catch up to the other Fangit drivers.
Yeah, and Pup is definitely catching Oil, so
Ooh.
give it a couple laps and he should be able to work with someone. At least it won't be a very lonely race for him.
Yeah, and it could be a great recovery if he can, somehow link up with someone else, whether that's the Team Dodgy guys, whether it's his duo of teammates. Sure, he can find a way to link back up with someone if he can just get a little bit of slipstream assistance, and I'm sure Oil wouldn't mind being towed a little back up towards his team. Now that we're coming towards the end of lap 8, just giving a check-in, so all three of Team Dodgy are on the soft tyre and have probably about 65% fuel remaining. Back for the Drive 25, they're at about 55% fuel remaining. They're on the hard tyres. The Hexicans have gone the soft tyres, and they're probably about 60% fuel. And then the Fangit guys are on hard tyres and around that 55 mark. So Team Dodgy probably in the best spot so far fuel-wise, with the Hexicans not too far behind, but I think they're losing pace and dropping off because of that.
Yeah, I don't know if they're trying to save. Ooh.
Sorry, Lucky just went into the wall after a bump on the front straight. The gap was out to 0.8 of a second.
And look at that, Zoom's now right on the tail of Luck here.
Yeah, that's going to cost him quite a bit there. That's a few laps worth of, and he's going to tow him all the way back up to. So that's going to be crucial. They're actually going to
trying to go around. Yeah.
Tombo's coming in for a bump, but you can see the overspeed of Lucky taking place, and he could just hold that low line and force Zoo around the outside. Apex has got to stay down for Lucky though. He's riding a little bit of a middle line, and not much they can do. Tucks back in. So just like that, they were at 0.8 of a second. They were pretty much gone. And Lucky got a little loose, got into the wall on the front straight, and there it went. Doesn't look like the Mazdas have enough though. Tombo gave Zoo quite a big bump there, got up to about 293, and then as soon as he got out in that air to try and pull alongside Lucky, the speed just washes away.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they can, Zoo and Tombo can stick with the TDR guys. Even though the McLaren is the faster car here. I mean, they've got the slip of all three of them.
Yeah, they should be able to stick with him if they
Zoo
don't
pulls
try
out
and
a little
overtake.
bit.
If Zoo bumps, they'll stay with him the whole time, but they are at a fuel disadvantage currently. After the first round of stops, I do think we'll see Drive 25 leading due to the fact that they're running the hard tyre and they're probably going to double stint it to start the race. So Team Dodgy going to have to make that tyre change. Rear right tyre probably about 15% remaining as well, so could be quite interesting how they navigate the rest of that. The Drive 25 guys could even save fuel here instead of bumping the Team Dodgy ones.
And just mentioning Pup at the back there didn't take long. He's already passed Oil. And looks like they are working together. As Oil going to give Pup a boost, and he does.
Team Dodgy are in the pits. They're running that same strategy we saw earlier. they're taking that early pit stop. So 20 lap stints from here to the end, essentially. Get 12 laps out of the way. I'm sure we'll see him come out on medium tyres and then double stint the hards to finish off. But now your provisional leader, Zoo and Tombo, and what that does is it throws them back out into the air with no slipstream. So now they are that duo that has to work together, and it's really not as strong as the trio. So 7.7 seconds the gap of the damn Hexicans is what I'm keeping my eye on from here.
Wow, that is a big difference in their lap time there. They've gone from mid-49s to mid-50s.
Yes. So now they're even slower than the Hexicans now. Hexicans last time around with a 50.3, a 50.5 and a 50.4 out of Zoo and Tombo. Very interesting. I'll be very interested to see how this does play out now.
And the Super of the Hexicans is conserving a bit more fuel than those Mazdas. So they'll make up a little bit of time in the pits.
Yeah, I think they've got about a second that they make up there.
So over the length of this race, they could maybe catch the Drive 25 guys, the trio of damn Hexicans.
Yeah, one thing that could, again, I mentioned it a couple of times, that could stop that is if they do link back up with Pup and he can work with them as a trio, even a lap down. Could put them back in a strong position to get Tombo and Zoo towards the front end again.
I think the only problem with the Hexicans is their fuel. That Supra was proving a bit thirsty. I'm not sure what fuel they're looking like they've got now, but what are we coming to the end of lap 15? So
they're at about 24 litres, and I'd say Drive
about
25
3
are at about
laps.
20.
Okay. Wow.
So
Yeah.
I think they're sacrificing pace to make the stints work, really. It's what I'm sure they're running fuel map 2 or 3. But they have taken 0.4 of a second out of the Drive 25 guys up ahead. Flossie and Scooter still chugging along nicely, 9 seconds to anyone either side of them, just in that 50.9, 50.7 range. Those two. And Pup and Oil are working quite well together, 50.8 from both of those guys last time around. 49 fours all around for Team Dodgy Racing last time around. And we'll see.
Dam probably going to come into the pits this lap. Their right rear tyre is almost out.
Might even be worth pushing for 18.
They're going again, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if the right rear being gone is going to affect them too much, and they can push those extra 2 laps and make fuel easier for the rest of the race. Early sacrifice for long-term gain.
It's probably about a lap ago. It was about 7.4 seconds back to the Dam guys from Tombo, but now it's at 6.9, so they are making inroads.
Yeah, so Team Dodgy have just done 49 fives all around. Zoo and Tombo last time around 50.8, so they're losing 1.4 seconds a lap.
Wow. That's
One more lap
a
they're
big
going,
deficit.
It might even offset the tyre change already that they're going to have to make this, or that Team Dodgy have already made, and that Drive 25 don't have to. 50.4 last time around, so they got it back together. Just keeping a nice close eye on these lap times, on fuel. So I don't think Tombo's going to make another lap. I think we'll see Tombo and Zoo in this lap. Hexicans can probably go one longer if they really want to. Whether they want to risk that on the worn right tyre or not, that's completely up to them. And then Flossie and Scooter will be in this lap. They're quite low on fuel. Oil and Pup are probably going to be separated as well. Pup's still got over 10%, whereas Oil's probably got about 7 litres left. There's Zoo and Tombo in.
And Dam is going around for another lap.
There you go. Hopefully they've all got enough. They're all fairly close. I think Seckers has got a tiny bit less, probably 1 litre less than everyone else, but at the very least, MCDC can probably just push him into the pits, really. As Fangin are in. Pup also in with Oily.
Little moment there for Seckers after getting tapped by MCDC. Got to be careful with that right rear completely gone on the bank, getting tapped from behind.
Absolutely.
Well,
MCDC looks to have stabilised a little bit. He's not jumped around as bad as he was earlier, just in the corners now. So that could also fall nicely into the hands of the Hexicans. Having a look at the gap, 7 seconds between Zoo and Lucky. 7.5, it's still growing at a rate of knots. So that early stop really coming in quite crucial for Team Dodgy.
and
That's even with the no tyre change for Drive 25.
Dam are in, so it'll be interesting to see where those guys come out in relation to these Drive 25 boys who are just passing the pit entry now.
Yep, so 6.5 seconds, I believe, was the gap as they came in.
So Dam did a tyre change. Did Drive 25 do a tyre change as well?
No. So the gap's probably grown, but they also have themselves to work with rather than... Or MCDC's inside of Dale. That's how it goes in the Hexicans, I guess. Seckers falls into formation, being the cream in the Oreo, and MCDC rounds it up. Looks like the gap between Pup and Oil has grown massively over the pit stops there. So now it's to 9 seconds. Oil has nobody to work with. He does have the Team Dodgy guys coming up behind him, but I think he's going to be hard-pressed to try and latch onto the back of them, with them going about 290 in the corners, and Oil's sitting on about 271. I just saw 303 out of Nux on the straight here.
Yeah.
There he goes, 298 that time. Yep. So there's not much Oil can do. He's just 270 is about his range.
We're on with Nux now, and he is catching at a rate of knots.
Yeah, glorious interior.
What's going on with Oil?
Oil into the fence.
Might have had to take a drink or something. I'm not sure there, but he's looking a bit all over the shop.
Taking the high. Taking the high.
He is. I mean, eventually he got there. Oh, Lucky's still coming through. Oh, Lucky's
He's come
giving him a
across,
bump.
Lucky. Yeah.
Lucky gave him a bump. Get in there, Oily. They're going to tow you around, mate. Add another one to the sandwich.
It could be costly for the boys if they have to wait for Lucky now.
Oh, Oil jumping out of the way there, actually. Lucky tried to go for the bump again, and Oily just jumped right out of the way. I think they were trying to get him in the train, though, by the looks of it. He's now gaining on CJS Pup is Oil, as long as he can stay with him, but I don't think that's going to be too long. And our check-in back with the Hexicans, 12.3 seconds now the gap. So they have lost a little bit there, but again, it's the short-term loss for the long-term gain with Drive 25 double stinting and them having to do the tyre change.
Well, I believe they were at 12.8 seconds when they came out of the pit, so they've gone a little bit back, but yeah, taking those tyres has definitely put them back a little bit.
Yeah, 50.1 and a 50.4 for Dale, and 50.5, 50.5 for Tombo and Zoo. So they're going to be taking time out, and they're going to be catching. It's all just whether they can make it work over the length of the race. So we saw them get 19 out of their first stint, which means they can go one lap shorter somewhere along the way, which I'm sure will be quite helpful. A little bit less fuel saving might be the last stint of the race they do that in. Maybe they go 19 again and can run 2 17 lap stints and do a whole lot less fuel saving. I'm not sure.
Well, now Dam has probably got about, what's that, maybe 4 litres of fuel, extra fuel than the Drive 25 guys.
Yeah, about 4 or 5 litres, but that's probably the lap difference that they had in pitting. So I believe Tombo and Zoo were in at 18. Yeah, they were, and the Hexicans were in 20.
Yeah.
Sorry, 19, my apologies, yes, so Hexicans were in at 19, Drive 25 was in at 18, so they've got that extra lap in their back pocket.
Yeah, I think we've definitely got a race on here between Drive 25 and Dam. I think Dam can do it. Catch them towards the end of the 72 laps and have a little battle here for third position. Oh, sorry, fourth position.
For best of the rest, we are about to see CJS Pup get reeled in by the Team Dodgy guys. I'm actually jumping in car with Lucky here, sitting in his passenger seat, and just to see really what he has ahead of him. It's the rear wing of Apex and the little red splotch in the distance. But Pup taking the high line, not going to make him work too hard for it. Whoa, come right up on the back of Apex very quickly there.
That was a big bump.
That it was. Pup tries to tuck in, but not really much he can do there. That does mean that his Drive 25 friends are not too far away, as I can see they have Oily in the distance. And there goes the slipstream for Pup. Let's go. Just like that.
Interestingly, the Dam guys, so Dalateeks was leading them around, but he's moved over and let Seckers take the lead now. So Dalateeks is in the middle, being pushed
looks
by
like it's an orchestrated team move as well. They all dropped about 0.4 of a second that last lap. I'm assuming making that switch, now getting 0.2 of it back. So they're about even with the Drive 25 lads at the moment. It'll be very interesting to see how that gap goes. That's the main one I'm keeping my eye on. I don't know what's going to happen with Oily and Pup either. I know it's for 11th and 12th, but eventually someone's going to pick them back up and they're going to be able to tag onto the back of them, and I think there's going to be a couple of moves made. And I think it's going to be Zoo and Tombo getting Pup back with them, which could throw a spanner in the works for the Hexicans as well. But the gap from Drive 25 up to Team Dodgy, now almost 19 seconds, 18.8 we're at.
That's almost the reverse of what they had over Team Dodgy in Div 2.
That it is. So, seen an almost similar situation in that Pup got caught out and broke the trio, and then the duo had to make a decision whether you drop back and get him when you're only 4 seconds back, or you push on and try and keep up and get him the next time around. And the decision was made. I can't say whether it was right or wrong just yet, but looking like a rough one for Pup. And Zoo and Tombo are just circulating until they can get back up to Pup at this point. That was a rocket launch from Tombo there.
I can honestly...
haven't seen him hit many things that hard in the rear since last Bathurst 12 hour.
I can honestly say I'm not a big enough mathemagenius to work out what's a better point score, to either finish 4-5-6 or 4-5-11. I don't know what's going to garner more points.
I think it's going to be a Drive 25 advantage, but my tinfoil hat says they're going to get Pup and then they're going to tow him up towards at least ahead of the Fanger guys.
Yep.
So we might see a 4-5-9.
damn guys have lost half a second to Tombo. I don't know what happened there, but...
Swapped at the front again. Dale back leading, Seckers in the middle.
They have, yeah.
I think that'd be a fuel issue.
Possibly. Seckers does have a tiny bit less than Dale.
So you take the lead guy out, swap him back in, and hopefully that'll save a bit of juice, because when you're getting pushed along at the pointy end, you tend to use a bit more fuel. By the way, Adam, nice livery on those cars.
A beautiful fade there. It's gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
I'm sure there'll be some great pictures coming out of this weekend from it as well. Of cars running in formation. Might need a new screensaver for your computer or something.
Yeah, definitely.
We're now out to 22, well, basically 22 and a half from the lead, but 22.4 gap between Lucky and Zoo now.
Yeah, and so the Team Dodgy guys came in on the end of lap 12, so this is now 20 laps for them out of the tank. So this will be their final tyre change, I believe. They're just going to run hards from the end of this lap to the end of the race, really, with a fuel stop in the middle.
Not quite enough to catch those Fangit boys before they go into the pits, I think.
Yeah, I reckon we're going to see 1 litre from Apex and Lucky here. That's very, very low on the fuel gauge, or 0 from Lucky. So we'll see Tombo and Zoo retake the lead for now. They've got probably about 27 litres of fuel in the tank. Hexagons probably still about 32-ish. So they've got a lap and a little bit extra.
Definitely saving a lot more fuel than anyone else.
Yeah, I think we might see them do those 19-lap stints so they don't have to save as much towards the end. I think that's the goal.
Where are they going to drive? Yeah, they're going to come out near... Yep, like I thought. Oh.
I'm sure that was a little bit of a fright for Dale. The other two would have been oblivious because all they can see is the rear end of Dale, but Dale had to see all 3 TDR cars just materialise in front of him. So where are the Drive 25 guys in relation to Pup? So Pup's coming across the start-finish now. So
they can just see him.
So he is that little bit. It might even be worth it to have Pup roll off the throttle to make him catch him quicker, and I don't know, maybe they coordinate the pit stop to get him to link back up. I'm not sure, but there's got to be something that they can try here to change the situation.
Yeah, I think they will have to link up with Pup and work together, even though if it hinders Pup's race a little bit. Just to thwart off the threat of the damn Hexagons here, as the damn Hexagons are coming up to oil my blood very fast.
Oil using his sparks to try and throw him off the trail. Don't think it's going to work. But that gap hovering around the 12-second marker, so Damn have stopped gaining. Again, Oily
around
caught
the
out.
outside.
Yeah, caught out just taking the inside line through the kink there, and around the outside the Hexagons go. Oh, MCDC's right up there on the wall. It was very close. And there's Oily tucking in. How are they on fuel comparatively? They're about the same. So, again, if Oil can stick with them like we saw Havoc do for Division 2, he could close that gap to Pup. It's all about just when
he's
it
giving
happens.
MCD...
That's it's dangerous move there, Oily. Yeah, pull out, get some fresh air. You know, engine temps are going up. it's probably a bit scary for Oil too as well. I know he doesn't have a whole lot to lose at this point. He's, 12th and 17 seconds off of 11th, but, if he bumps MCDC at the wrong time, or MCDC lags back into him slightly, he's going to immediately lose the slipstream, and he'll be back in no man's land, so he'll lose his chance. He's almost taken 2 seconds out of Pup already, though, since tucking in behind here.
Yeah, so do you think this is helping the Dem Hexicans with another one pushing them along?
It's probably helping. I think Drive 25 are about to be linked back up again, so that might change the fortunes again, but...
Well, Tombo and Zero in the pits now.
Yep, as is Pup.
Pup's in... okay.
So Pup pitted early. He's still got 17 litres on board, but decided to pit in. I think we'll see him coast a tiny bit to just catch up, or to have Tombo and Zoo catch up to him. As Flossie and Scooter are both in as well. Yeah, Oil's really... he's sitting right at the same fuel mark as the Hexicans here, so as long as he can stay with them, he's in a pretty good spot. Drive 25 with their first tyre change of the race there as well. And having a look, Pup's rolling around at half throttle, lifting off, so he's absolutely going to rejoin with his teammates here, and they can work as a trio to hold off the Hexicans. So, interesting how fortunes change like that. And there are the other Fangit drivers. Oily taking 9th place off them. Now that gap. Just having a look here. So Team Dodgy are almost completely clear by a full pit stop of the damn Hexicans. 4.7 seconds away from that they are, and right up behind Scooter and Flossie, who are doing their absolute best. Team Dodgy taking the high line here.
It's going to be a little bit disheartening for Scooter and Flossie, some of the fastest drivers in Division 1 in wheel to wheel, getting lapped.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Scooter, he had the same fate last time we were here at the Oval. I remember him being in the Aston, and he couldn't even keep up in slipstream. I believe I mentioned it earlier. He got lapped 2 or 3 times. So, yeah, that was. It's probably not going to be top of his list to vote back in the Daytona Oval. Pup has rejoined with Zoo and Tombo. Sorry if you were about to say that one there, Adam.
I was just going to say the Hexicans are in the pits, or they're rolling out now, coming out on the hard tyre.
Oh, Oily on the soft. It's interesting. So there's the change in strategies again. The Hexicans making their final required tyre change, whereas Oil is going to have to change to mediums, I believe. He's not sure which slipstream path to take, whether you go for the stable one of the bottom guys or MCDC. He might fall off here though. If he's unlucky, he could drop off the back of him.
Yeah, he's probably just... oh, he's catching a little bit now.
Yeah, MCDC with the big bumps dropped him back.
I tell you what, I think Pup's lucky that GT7 doesn't automatically penalise ignoring a blue flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now he's able to work with his team at least. It took him 40 laps to catch up to him, pretty much. 38 odd laps to catch up, and it would have been longer if he didn't coast out of the pits to make that happen a bit quicker. So hopefully Tombo's not got the stream on in the background and I'm giving him ideas.
And looks like Oil has dropped off the back of those damn guys now. I think he's just out of the slip.
Yeah, he's out of it now, unfortunately. And back to the lonely old race now. So the gap now to keep our eye on, I believe, is Pup to Scooter. So 24.7 seconds from 11th to 10th, and that's going to be the main points mover. from here on out unless something drastic happens throughout the Hexagons or Team Dodgy. So
Yeah, now
if
that
Pup can get ahead of those Fangit guys up into 9th, that'll be the point swing I think they need.
I did notice just then as the TDR boys came across the line, they were a second down on their time.
Yeah, racing hard tyres possibly playing a part there. They're running 49.9s though, with that said. So 49.0 is the fastest lap of the race, which is rapid. Lucky's sitting 0.4 of a second off the back as well, so he's going to get a really good run up at him.
Yeah, now that the trio of Drive 25 are back together, the gap, they're just pulling away on the damn Hexagon guys.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because the Hexagons have done all the work to shorten their final stints. So they went that one lap longer. They went 19 and 19. They've got to do 2 17-lap stints on the hard tyres. Or probably run the whole race on the hard tyres with a 17-lap fuel up. They're doing less saving. You can hear the engine note of the car is revving up higher as well. But now that Pup's back with Tombo and Sue, they're not catching anymore.
Nah. The gap has grown out by about a 1.2 in the last maybe lap and a half.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a strange situation. They were running, you know, those 50.4s nice and consistently for so long, and then had to drop to the 50.9, 51 zeros for a little bit of time there, and it looks like that's made the difference. That gap to Scooter and Flossie from Pup down to 22.8 seconds now. So 30 laps to make up 23 seconds. With an extra tyre change as well.
We've got TDR coming up on the back of Oil. Just see how they navigate around him. It's a little bit scary, the earlier pass that they did.
Yeah, Oily was trying to be too nice and get out of the way, and Lucky was trying to keep Oil with him, so... See if Oil goes high. He's going to stay low. As he floats up to the midline as well. It's one way to wash speed off the other cars, so you can try and stick with him, I guess. But as they slot back into formation and get back down on that yellow line, they're just running away. Oily getting up to 289, but the other guys, yeah, Nux is sitting at 300, so around the corner of all things as well. I've seen him hit 300 twice on the bend here. So they've absolutely let it loose. Could see a very fast lap here. No, the high line through turn 1. Making sure that didn't happen. They do have some cars in the distance. Is that... that is the Hexagons. So the sparks I'm seeing in the distance from on board with Nux is the Hexagons. So they could be lapping 8th, 7th and 6th in a couple of laps' time.
Yeah, the Hexagons and Drive 25 got quite a bit more fuel than TDR.
Yeah, TDR are going with the alternate strategy, so we'll see them in at 52 will be their point to make it home. They might go one extra and come in 53, but I think we'll see them in at 52 and just keep those 20 lap stints going. So Drive 25 were in at 36. I'm assuming they're going to continue that trend, and they'll be in at 54 for an 18-lap run to the finish. Hexagons, if they're doing 17 this time around, or they might go for 19 again and have a 16-lap run to the end. From 38, puts them in at 55. Somewhere between 55 and 57 will be their pit window. gap just growing to Drive 25, unfortunately. So it looks like them trying to make the end of their race easier has probably stopped any chance of them catching at least Zoo and Tombo, but it has put them in a really strong spot for 6th, 7th, 8th.
Yeah, I'm not sure who made the call there at TDR, Drive 25, but they've made the right call for sure, bringing Pup back and working as a trio again.
Yeah, it's just whether they could have made it sooner if they would have been in a better spot. I don't know if they would have been able to make up time on Team Dodgy. Even as a trio here, they're losing quite a bit of time.
Do you think if they backed off straight away on the first lap when Pup had that incident, you reckon they could have all passed the Hexagons?
I think they would have been 4th, 5th, 6th, yeah. If immediately they both dropped back, because the gap was 5 seconds to the lead from there. So I think they would have been able to make up. I mean, they're 15 seconds ahead of the Hexagons almost now. So if they made up that 5 seconds, they'd be sitting in that better spot. But again, it's a split-second call that you kind of have a lap to make. You know, the more you delay it, the longer it'll take. You know, we saw, I think, Team Dodgy's mistake was delaying how long it took them to drop back to Baker. You know, they kind of coasted for a lap and dropped out of the way, and while they were making the gap smaller, Baker was just falling 2 seconds a lap further behind. So I think if they'd both, just got out of the way, slammed on, we could have seen a different story. But obviously hindsight is 2020. You know, in the moment, you don't have a whole lot of time to make that call. And it's not often we see team racing like this in wheel-to-wheel. Obviously, we see teammates on track together, but it's never working together like this, and it being so crucial to stay together.
And having 3 teammates in a race, usually it's only 2.
That's true as well.
They're catching those damn boys pretty quick, but I don't think they're going to do it before they have to pit.
No, I'm interested to see if they do it before the end of the race. So this lap and one more is what I see for Team Dodgy, so end of 52, as I said earlier. Just for reference for those at home, Team Dodgy are 49.6s last time around. The Drive 25 cars are 49.9s for Zoo and Tombo at least. 50.1s for the Hexagons with a 49.9 for MCDC. 50.7 average between the Faggot guys, and Pup doing a 49.8 as well. So they're just that 0.3 of a second off every lap of the Team Dodgy McLarens.
And it's good to see the Faggot trio are back together again.
Yeah, they've linked back up with Oily. Unfortunately, a little too late to make any major changes, but
so they can get that nice team photo of all 3 cars.
Absolutely. As I said earlier, for the photographers at home, lap 50 as you go. All teams are together. Rolling in formation, even if a couple are a lap down. Alright, jumping back with the Team Dodgy guys. This should be their in lap. As we round turns 3 and 4. We can see the Hexagon drivers off in the distance there. We'll see everyone peel off to the left here. As the pit lane appears, there we go. Just cruising in at 280, as you do. I would love to see pit limits actually put in Gran Turismo one day, but I don't think it's ever been a thing, and I don't think it will be. But I can dream.
Yeah.
Just at least having to slow down to the speed, or you get penalised. You know, we've got a pit line. Why not a pit lane limiter? At least, you know, hit 60 kilometres an hour before you enter the cut-off at least. But I'll save my ideas and ramblings for myself when I'm laying in bed at night, because, to be honest, Polyphony don't care.
Where is TDR going to come out in relation to Dam? Is Dam going to pass them before they get up to speed?
I don't think so. Lucky's quite a ways back. Looks like Team Dodgy have gone for mediums again. So they've made that extra tyre change. I guess having 30 seconds in your pocket, you can do that. But it looks like Lucky fell off a little bit off the lead too. But
Are they all on the same tyre?
they are all on the racing medium tyre.
That's bizarre. I guess they're all
Made
in
the
chat,
call.
no doubt. So
Made the call not
yeah.
to double stint those hards, yeah.
Well, when you got a 30-second lead and it's only costing you 4 seconds, go for
Yep.
it.
Why not?
I do think the front two need to back off and just get Lucky right up there with them again. But they've got a nice little cushion, and I think we'll see Drive 25 in this lap, and the Hexagons in either next lap or the one after, depending on how long they're trying to have their stints be. So, will we see Pup in? I guess Pup can short fuel as well, knowing he has to do one lap less.
Yep, they're all in.
There they go. Staying in that formation. Oily looks to have even dropped off of Flossie and Scooter. So he's not having a great night. He's probably cracked open a tin by now. Steering with one hand. Not a whole lot in it.
I'll tell you what, this gap between the three TDR boys is bringing the Dam boys closer.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it looks like Apex has dropped back a little to give Lucky a better toe. And then they can all together gain back up on Nux. But Hexagons will be in, I'm going to say next lap. They've got enough to go around again. It's whether they want to that comes into it now. 49.7 from them last time around as well, so maybe they were finally able to open up the cars a bit. Stop having to save as much. See, coming along. No, they're coming in. They're sticking to that 17 laps. 5.56. They probably could have made it. Probably safer to not. And that frees up the Team Dodgy guys. Will free up the trio of Drive 25 as well. And Flossie and Scooter coming out of the pits now.
Oh, and Apex going around Nux to take the lead.
Beautiful move there. That was pure skill. Nice and late on the brakes. I still haven't seen him hit the brakes. He's that late on them.
I was going to say is obviously we know that TDR is going to take out the win here, but in what order?
Well, we did see Drive 25 orchestrated to benefit the team in the best way possible. So we might see a similar thing from Team Dodgy here. It'd be Apex, Nux, Lucky.
Now,
the order, and that's the order we're rolling in currently.
call me silly, which a lot of people
Silly.
usually do. But if you've got 3 cars finishing first, second, and third, then the order makes no difference for the team points.
For the team perspective, yes,
That's
but
correct.
with
Just for the
Apex sitting in fourth, that first is going to benefit him probably more than Nux, who's sitting in 6th, and Lucky, who's in 7th.
Yeah, so for the individual driver championship, it will help, but not for the team.
Correct.
Yes. Okay. Just so I got that out there.
Absolutely. But it looks like Team Dodgy 27 seconds the gap now. Last time around 49.7s. Oh, Nux taking the high line. Through goes Lucky. Jesus. That was a bit sketchy. I got a little nervous. Thought Dodgy was going to throw something at me as soon as he sees me in Bathurst if I say any more good things about his team. Hexagons with 10 seconds the gap to Drive 25, so not having to make that tyre change and a little bit of a short fuel making the difference there, but again it's just too little too late unless Tombo and Zoo really get together and have a big moment. I think that's probably settled. that gap between Pup and the Fangit guys is down to 7.5 seconds. So they might be on track to save a 9th place from Pup having that moment early on.
Well, we got 15 laps to go.
Yeah, so what did I say? It was 30 laps and 23 seconds. So in half that time, they've made up 15, 18. Yeah. So they can do it. Might actually see some overtakes for position that aren't inter-team. It only took 59 laps. I guess they're still going to catch them. 65 laps, we'll say.
I wonder if Fangit will just go 3 wide. Make it hard for them to pass.
Well, Oil has rejoined them, so it looks like Scooter and Flossie are running the soft tyre. Oily's on the medium, but has caught back up to his trio at the very least. Would be quite ironic that we were talking about Oil catching Pup if the Fangit guys could get together and Drive 25 didn't, and if Pup gets 9th, Pup will be lapping Oil. So how different things could have been again. But Oily setting at least a personal best first sector now that he's up with Scooter and Flossie, so as a trio they might be able to hold off that little bit more of Drive 25. 5.6 seconds the gap now. I'm going to be keeping an eye on the lap times. Crucial battle coming up. So Flossie and Scooter 50.7, and Pup's going to come across the line with a 50.009, so he's gaining 0.7 seconds a lap even with Oil bumping Scooter and Flossie along. Looks like Oil has dropped back off them as well.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how hard the Fangit guys fight this as well.
Yeah, we're getting towards the end of the race, but not quick enough to really try and do any defensive kind of moves. I guess all they can really do is make them run the high line and try and delay it, but I guess you could move too wide and force a bump from someone, but yeah, not really sure there's too much they can do, especially with Oily falling back off him. Maybe he can just wreck him, we'll see. But I didn't say that.
Yeah, Oil's dropped off quite a lot from the guys, from his teammates.
Yeah, not quite sure. It surely can't be just the difference in tyres. Yeah, that wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense. I don't know if he's in a higher fuel map or if he just not really got a whole lot of, care factor, but yeah, 3.6 seconds the gap now from Pup to Scooter.
Yeah, Drive 25 guys coming up on Oil very fast. We'll see what Oil does here.
Handbrake.
Staying high at the moment.
Yeah, just trying to stay out of their way by the looks of it. Stay in that high line. They cruise on through. Not much Oily can really do about it. Try and tuck in, but Tombo's jittering at him. I think that's a warning. And 2.6 seconds. Yeah, 10 laps to go. Unless Flossie and Scooter have been cruising on fuel map 3 the whole time. I think it might be a done deal eventually. It's only a matter of time. 49.7 out of Pup last time around. 51 zeros from Scooter and Flossie. So without Oil, they've dropped about 0.3, 0.4 of a second. Doesn't look like Oil was able to latch onto the back of the Drive 25 guys either.
No, I think Oil's checked out for the night.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
He's had a tough race, yeah.
Flossie and Scooter setting PBs out of turn 2 though. on for young and old now. That Drive 25 crew behind is just looking a bit scary though. Now, where are we in relation? Doesn't look like Team Dodgy's going to be able to get the hexagons either for a lap. Just looking at the gaps there. So I guess Team Dodgy had to put on quite a bit more fuel to make the 20 laps, whereas the hexagons only had to fill for 17, so they could underfuel that little bit. And here comes the move. Pup getting the bump, getting the assistance from Tombo and Zoo. What are these boys going to do? Is there anything they can do? They're just sitting midline.
Oh, they've moved over.
There it is.
They're not making it easy.
And Pup gets shuffled back behind, but Zoo gets his nose in on the lower line.
Pull in.
Oh, he was trying, but there's not much he can do now. As Pup gets ricocheted in between Zoo and Tombo.
Oh, they've
Flossie
come
tried
together,
to
touching
cover him.
doors.
Not much that they could do in the end there. They are going to tuck back in and just hang on to the back. Maybe hope that Pup runs out of fuel. Not quite sure. Maybe they can get a run, get underneath Tombo. Flossie does try and get underneath Tombo, but not quite enough there. It'll be very interesting to see the strategy played here. If Tombo does drift high and Flossie can get underneath him and manages to get the slipstream of the two ahead. There he goes again. Tombo just drifting to that midline. But they're protecting Pup. They got him up into 9th.
Yeah,
I believe Pup's been lapped by the hexagons, so I don't think we can hope to see him get another spot. They go 39 seconds the gap from Pup to MCDC as they're coming around the start-finish line now. Flossie and Scooter are able to hang on to him though, they're still there. If they can hang on to him until the finish, we might see a last lap move.
Yeah, the Drive 25 guys have just got to protect that inside line. Because as soon as Flossie pulls out, he's not going to be able to get around him.
I feel like he thought about it there. I saw a slight hesitation with Flossie. Maybe dive down to the inside. Decides otherwise. They're setting personal bests on lap 67.
Oh, he's just losing the Drive 25 guys now.
I think that's it. I think it's over.
Yeah.
0.6 of a second might be too much. Scooter's fallen quite a ways back, so can't give that big bump yet. 0.8 of a second, and there they go. Very much a Monica moment for Flossie there. Just watching that 9th place slip out of his hands. Over a second, it's gone now. 5 laps to go in the race now. And just a nice recap at the front. It's still Team Dodgy Racing. 27.6 seconds clear of Zoo and Tombo. They are 11.7 clear of the damn hexagons, who have a casual 37 seconds back to CJS Pup, who's built out about 2 seconds to Flossie and Scooter. And Oiley's probably having a nap. So that's how the grid stands at the moment. Humper leading from Lucky and Nux hanging about in 3rd at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Apex is former Division 1 champion. Nux, I believe, has got a Division 1 win under his belt. Luck, who is new to Division 1, I believe.
Yep.
You reckon they're going to give him the win?
I could see them giving Lucky the win, or at least the 2nd place. I could see him giving Lucky 2nd. Maybe they view it as a... How do I put it? Like a try and boost his points in a situation they can control to up his average kind of thing. I know it's not a huge amount of points difference from, second to third, but Nux, I feel, has access to more points than Lucky does currently. So maybe giving the free points, I say free in quotation marks, to Lucky might be the play. I don't know.
Yeah, but as we was just discussing it, Nux has moved up into second. So, yeah.
Yes, not too far to go either. Less than 10% fuel for the Team Dodgy Racing drivers, as they've slowed down to 50.5s. Just bringing it home, really. And starting the final lap right now. 72 or 72. Is that oil in the distance? It is. Surely they can't get oil one more time, for old time's sake. They're gaining quite quickly. I wonder if it's been discussed in terms of finishing positions for these guys yet. They're probably in chat.
Well, I can say
looks like they're setting up for a formation finish here.
Yeah, nothing in
looks
team
like
chat,
Luck's setting
so
up for a
we'll
pit
see what they
maneuver.
do.
Just right at that rear quarter, Apex blipping the throttle, trying to get a nice, beautiful formation finish. Here come the Team Dodgy Racing drivers, and it is going to be Apex in first, Nux in second, and Lucky rounding out the podium, possibly his first Div 1 podium, so I'm going to congratulate him on that. If it's not the case, apologies. I won't underestimate you again. We'll jump back to fourth place as we have Zuzu and Tombo rolling through, and Pup going to claim 9th place here as well as the Drive 25 guys cross the line. Hexicon's not too far off. It's looking like Dale is going to let him through. Are they letting MCDC through? No. Yes? Yes. So
Wow.
MCDC 6th, Seca 7th, Dale 8th. Flossie and Scooter 10th, 11th. And here he comes, the man himself. I just smashed my elbow on my desk. It's Oil in 12th place. I gave him a fist bump. I regret it. I'm in pain.
Well, there we have it. 72 laps around the oval.
Over already. Can't believe it. Felt like it's just started.
And sort of shows you a difference of what that little accident can do for you with TDR in the last race compared to this one. But yeah, hell of a comeback there by Pup to get up to 9th. It was a great job of those guys to come together for that one.